This is my beautiful, tragic story of fatherhood, man. The story is what people really need, and man, I'm just gonna tell my story of fatherhood, and I think a lot of the shorts and stuff some of y'all watched or some of the videos you guys watched, then you'll say, "Oh, that's why he said that." Yeah, because I want you guys to know, man, all over the country, all over the world, that I'm no guru, man. Because I turned on this camera and talk, I'm no guru. Everything I've suffered, everything I went through, every terrible mistake I made, man, this is what's coming out of me. Let me just talk about marriage first, and I won't stay here, but I'll get to fatherhood. But I want to talk about marriage first because, and I have to, because marriage matters, man, as it pertains to fatherhood. It really does. And so, I started traveling and speaking and stuff, man, at 14 years old, and and moving around. So by the time I was 20, now I was in church, growing up in church, and this might speak to a lot of you guys who grew up in church, and they make marriage the most important thing ever, which is not. Now, as I'm telling my story, I'm gonna teach a little bit too, I guess, but it's not. It's not the most. It's not the pinnacle. But I was 21, man. At that time, I was really rolling, man, really rolling heavy. And I was doing ministry on campus, man. It grew. Plus started my church at 21, man. And I was rolling, man. And it wasn't because I came from a religious background. It's like God really called me to do it because I didn't know what I was doing, but I was following him. And so at that time, then the pressure was on at that point of, yo, you got to get married, because that, again, that's the most important thing in the religious world a lot of times, especially for younger people, and especially for younger people that's out here on stages, which was, and honestly, man, it was a bad decision for me to get married. I didn't marry a wrong person. I married a great person, but it was a wrong decision at that time. I didn't know who she was. I knew she was a great person, and I picked her because it was like the pressure of getting married. It was like, okay, you got to marry somebody. So in my mind, you can't just marry anybody. You got to marry a really good person, and which God blessed me. He gave me a really good person, and y'all found out the story. We're divorced now, man, but you'll find out the story as I talk to my fatherhood. But we got married, man. I think I was 23. She was like 20, you know what I mean? And she was finishing up school and this and that. And we get pregnant, our first son. And he's 21 now, but we get pregnant with our first son, man. And here I am, and I always wanted to be a dad from the time I was a little boy. Like, I wanted to be a dad. Like, I loved how my dad was like, I don't know what he was. He was just there, and he showed me dad life. What a man was about. And so I always wanted to be a father. And marriage wasn't important for me, but being a father was, and not, it wasn't I just want to make babies. It just wanted to be a dad. And so here I am, a dad. But here I am, also a running man on the run, trying to build this empire I thought I had to build, and trying to raise a young family at the same time. Um, I was teaching one night at my church, man. I'm a retired pastor. I was teaching one night at my church, and I preached a message. Don't lose your mind when you lose your Lazarus, right? And I had no idea that, like, this was about to happen to me. Like, the very words in my mouth, it was about to happen to me. And it was like, I go home that night, man, and I'm fast forwarding, y'all. I'll come back. But I go home that night. By this time, we had triplet babies. I should go back, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should go back. Okay. So we had our son, right? Tragically beautiful, beautiful, tragic story of fatherhood. So we had our son, and she wasn't reacting well after the pregnancy, and she was really sick during the pregnancy. And it's like, okay, so her blood pressure went real high. She had something called preeclampsia, and she was getting really sick, really full of fluid, really bad. And so it was a scary moment, man. Very, very scary moment. And so they had to bring my son, they had to birth him early, because she was like really on the verge of, man, leaving here, man. And so I want to say that too, man, to you guys out there, man, having children, man. um what Be by the side of that woman, man. The child doesn't need you, the child needs her body, but she needs you. Like, stick by her side, and I'll tell you later, I got married again, y'all, and we'll talk about that. And we weren't even together while she was pregnant with my last child. But guess what I did, man? I was right by her side. I wanted to make sure she had groceries. I wanted to make sure she had what she needed. I was at every doctor's appointment, because guess what? That was the mother of my child. And I'll do some podcasts on that, man. But we got to learn to really honor and respect the mother of our children, no matter the circumstances, because she is the mother of your child. And I think as men, we really need to understand what that means for somebody to mother your child. Yeah, we need to understand that, because it raises a respect level. So we might not get along, we might not powwow and head to the barbecue together, but guess what? When I see you, it's a certain respect. It's a certain respect. It's a due respect, right? And it's a due respect she owes you too. But we men talking. We ain't talking about what they owe us. We talking about what we owe them. So here I am, man, and we have the baby, but she's really bad off, man. And my son, he's in the hospital for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and it was time for him to go home. So it was me and him. Me and him went home, but she was in the hospital. So every day, man, I'm to the hospital. I'm to be by her side, man, and things was getting worse. And here she is, man, in that hospital, and her body was filling with fluid one Sunday night. And something said, man, something ain't right. Something's not right. And here I am, a brand new father. I'm 23 years old. I'm pastoring a church. I'm running around doing campus ministries. I'm writing books. I'm all the stuff that don't really count when it comes to what I'm talking about right now. Think about that, man. All the stuff you doing, it don't really count when it comes to things I'm talking about right now. And when you look at your life, there's things that don't count right now, and it's getting your energy, and it don't deserve it, man. And so here we are, man, and I get a call from the hospital. I'm laying, and my parents, I lived in Jersey, but because she was in the hospital, I came and I was staying at my parents' house with my brand new baby. And I remember one night he was on my chest. Sunday night he was on my chest. I still had my suit pants on. I think I preached the Sunday night service. I had suspenders. I had a shirt on. And I had, my socks on, but I stayed dressed, man. I was so tired, and I laid down, and I had him on my chest, and we were asleep, and my phone rings, and it's the hospital. Christian, you need to get here now. I'm like, I get myself together. I'm thinking, I look at my boy, I grab him. He's just a little baby at the time. I run upstairs, I knock on my parents' room door. I go in, and I like just place my baby on my dad's chest and say, y'all got to take care of Caleb. I gotta go. And so, I get in the car. I get in the car, and I get in the car, man, and I'm racing to the hospital, and I'm racing down like a major, not a highway, but a major road, and it's a cop. I see him make the U-turn, but I keep going. And something says, just pull over. I pull over, I jump out the car, and my eyes filled with tears, man. And I say, hey man, my wife, man, she's dying, man. And so he says, come on, where you going? I tell him, and he gets in front of me and leads me to the hospital. Here I am, man, a 23-year-old father, man. I ain't been married, but man, for a year or so, and my wife is dying. I didn't know what to do, bro. See, this is the thing, guys. You don't always know what to do. You know, there's no rule book that comes with life. There's no rule book that comes with a new child. There's no rule book that comes with being a new husband. And somebody can give you all the advice in the world, man. But at the end of the day, guess what, bro? You gotta live that joint out. And I'm racing to the hospital, man. I get there, I thank the cop, man. I just park my car in front of the hospital and leave it, man. I run up there, man, and I couldn't believe what I seen. My little wife's body, man, full up, pumped with oxygen, man. Her body's flopping back and forth. And all I could think about, man, was like what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do if she dies, man? I'm 23. See, in that moment, I wasn't a great pastor, great leader, great world missionary, man. And in those moments, man, you're not the businessman, the tough guy, you know, the buff guy, whatever guy that you try to be. You're not that in these moments, man. This is where your manhood gets checked. When life is on you. Real life is on you. You're losing your mother. You're losing your father. You're losing your grandma who raised you. You lose your child. You facing difficulty in your mind. You can't get it together. You smoking too much. You drinking too much. You know you too addicted to the PORN. You know what I mean? You find yourself just trying to find relief. Right? You gambling. Whatever we reach for, man, when life hit. You know why? Because some of us weren't taught how to reach for fatherhood. Nobody fathered you. Nobody taught you anything. So now you got to be a father and a husband on a guess. I feel for you, brother. I feel for you, brother. I feel for the brothers. I feel for you, man, who out here trying to figure it out with nobody to guide you, man. And everybody's judging on what you should be. I was 23 years old, man. 23 years old. With a dying wife and a brand new baby. Pastoring a church, traveling the country, telling people how good God is. And he is. But in the moment, it didn't feel like he was being good to me. But that was me not understanding good. But that's theology. We'll talk about that another day. Brothers, join this community, man. Hit the like button, hit the share button. We talking. Listen, man, this is my introduction to who I am beyond the videos and the shorts and the car rides and all the stuff y'all saw. This is why I do what I do, because it's guys out there like you that love life, and you're trying to love it more, but it's hard because you're trying to figure it out, man. And you need a place. You need a place. Women talk a lot about a safe place. Men need a safe place where they can say, this is hard. Where they could say, this feels impossible. When I was in that hospital room looking at my wife dying, it felt impossible. Impossible. What in the world? And I go to the doctor, and I say to the doctor, I say, is she gonna live? He says, sir, honestly, I can't say. I'm sorry. That's what he says to me. I can't say I'm sorry. And I ask him, this is where God comes into play. God told me, ask him what numbers, these machines all hooked up to her and everything beeping, what each number means and what it has to stay at in order for her to live the night. He said, well, this is the pulse ox, and this is the blood pressure, and this is the this, and this is the that, and this is the numbers they need to be in order for her to maintain. And God said, pull up a chair next to her bed and face that machine. Face that machine and talk to the numbers. Face that machine and talk to the numbers. Tell the numbers what to be. Tell the numbers where they gotta go. And I stared at that machine and I'm looking at it. And every time a number would drop and a beat would sound, I would speak to the numbers, speak to the numbers all night long. I was 23. I was a father and a husband and a pastor and a son